gonna turn the camera on, just talk, see what happens. I haven't made a toy video in a while because I've been busy customizing, making custom figures. I think I came up with some really cool stuff. I'll film that sometime after this. Let's get into this. I'm the only person who makes videos about Remco figures, so let's get into one that's very obscure. I mean, we all know about the AWA wrestling figures, and they use the same sculpt sort of as Masters of the Universe. These were super popular. This is probably like the main ones everybody knows. And then they had Warlord figures. I think these came first because he's got his little booties on there, his medieval fantasy booties. But they came up with Warlord first to compete with He-Man. It was like close enough. He's a fantasy figure. We'll reuse the body again. They also came up with some weird stuff. This is Pirate of the Galaxies. He was like a jobber for He-Man and everybody else to fight. You didn't really respect them too much because they felt like bootlegs. It's the stuff that you got for Christmas from grandma, birthday party, the kid's mom bought you a cheap toy. They got you a Remco figure instead of the real He-Man stuff. But they also had some more obscure stuff like this guy, Shield, because they did knockoffs of superpowers. They didn't have Marvel, they didn't have DC, so what did they do? They went to Archie. They did the Shield. Same construction, smaller. There's even another one after that. We're going to dive in deeper. They had Sgt Rock figures, kind of rip off GI Joe, but then they did something even weirder. They kind of mashed up their Sgt Rocks with their larger He-Man size and made this abomination. Sarge Team. Obviously, he looks a lot like Breaker from his head. He's got Rock and Roll's bandolier on there. And when I got one of these in person, I from all my little Remco research and stuff like that, I saw these and I was like, all right, I gotta have one of those. So I tracked one down on eBay, and when I got it in hand, first of all, eBay, no, I think I get this one off Macari. Every time I get something off Macari, the condition of the stuff is far worse than what you get in person. I had to glue him back together. He was a total disaster. And I think I did pretty good. This figure was so bad. I thought it was actually going to be like the size of him. No, it was this horrible contraption. So bad I had to get a second one. Boom. This guy shoots, and then Remco had the bad guys. This guy, what was his name? I forgot. I'll look it up. I'll put it in the bottom of the screen. Wait, hold on. His name is Buzzard. And Sgt Rock figures, they also had stuff. Their bad guys were actually called bad guys and set on the package generically that to be, used with your GI Joe and your MASH figures. Like the MASH guys needed some super villains on there, but no, I got two of these guys, and he was also a complete and utter disaster. I cleaned him up, and it looks almost presentable, but you can tell this figure was used and abused because they had no respect for it. I showed this picture of the one I got to a fellow toy collector I know. He looked at me like, "You're serious?" I'm like, yeah, it's so bad, it's awesome. I had to have it. So I got one. I got two. I'm afraid to show. You might want one. Now the price on eBay is going to go up, even though I'm the only one out there bidding on these piles of garbage. I think did like a best offer, and I don't think I paid more than like $15, which is way too much for something like this. But it's such a weird, rare curiosity, I had to have it. They basically stole GI Joe's designs with their like bandoliers. And like I said, it looks a lot like rock and roll there. And they kind of crossed it in with the idea to do this. But why? I don't know why they made him He-Man size, because it was kind of ridiculous for He-Man to fight GI Joes. But hey, why not? Let's get weird. It was the 80s. So that's what I got to say about that. I just wanted to show off these weird-ass figures so you can revel in how awful they are, too. How wonderfully awful they are. Reminisce about getting these for your birthday, just being completely, oh, thank you, and then you tossed it off in the corner. That's basically the gist of every one of these Remco videos I had. Who knew 40 years later I would be like one of their biggest fans? I love this stuff. I still ain't got me one of those, yeah, that figure. But I'm on the lookout for one of those. I will get one. I got some like watched on eBay. I'll pick something up like that and those other knockoff wrestler figures. But I'll get some. We'll get some more of those. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. We're gonna do a quick, easy video. Try and knock out a few tonight. Boom. Thank you.